In this video about Baumrind's theory of parental styles, there'll be a quick overview of the theory, and then it'll go in depth explaining the four parental styles: authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and neglectful, and in the end, we'll show some examples of each type. To begin the overview section, Deanna Baumrind developed her theory of parental styles in 1966 when she became interested in how parental behavior affected child development. In Baumrind's research, she identified that parents are tasked with the challenge of socializing children to conform to demands, while the children are able to keep a sense of personal integrity. Baumrind specified that the broad parenting function is control of a child. In Baumrind's initial research, she identified three main parenting styles that impact child development. These styles include authoritative, authoritarian, and permissive. Baumrind formulated these aspects to explain an entire parenting style rather than a single parenting aspect, such as discipline. Baumrind believed that with the formulation of these parenting models, she could explain the parenting that caused the clusters of child behavior. Although Baumrind developed three specific parenting styles, an addition to her work by Jacoby and Martin in 1983 identified a fourth parenting style called neglectful. These parental styles are categorized based on how demanding and responsive parents are towards their children, and oftentimes parents are not labeled as a single type of parent, but rather fall somewhere in the middle, exhibiting traits of multiple styles. Before we go into more depth about the styles of parenting, we'll do a quick outline of how these parenting styles are categorized. As you can see, authoritative parenting falls into a demanding and responsive category, while authoritarian parenting falls into a demanding and unresponsive category. Permissive parenting falls into an undemanding and responsive category, and finally, neglectful parenting is an undemanding and unresponsive style of parenting. Now we'll take a more in-depth look at the parenting styles. As outlined by the table, authoritative parents have high responsiveness and high demandingness. This parenting style demands high levels of maturity from children, and these parents are very involved and try to relate to children and teach children how to handle their feelings. Often authoritative parents encourage children to be independent, although they do set fair punishments and boundaries for children if they disobey. Authoritative parents are generally seen as fair and produce children who are more independent than others. On the other hand, the similar-sounding authoritarian parenting approach is characterized by low responsiveness and high demandingness. Parents that fall into this category are often labeled as strict parents, because they have high expectations for their child, but are not responsive when trying to help the child meet these high expectations. Oftentimes, they do not discuss problems with their children, and rather resort to yelling or other forms of control. Oftentimes, children produced by these parents are not very independent, because they were often told what to do by parents, and in some cases, children that are produced by this parenting style display antisocial behavior. The third style of parenting outlined by Baumrind is the permissive style. Parents in this style have high responsiveness and low demandingness. These parents are involved with their children and communicate well with them, but fail to impose demands to keep children in line. Often parents who exhibit this style produce children who are spoiled, because the parents always tend to the children's wishes. Children who are produced by this style tend to be more impulsive and have a higher risk of engaging in drug use, because the children have been able to get their way throughout childhood. The fourth and final style of parenting outlined by Jacoby and Martin as an extension of Baumrind's research is the neglectful style of parenting. These parenting are not demanding or responsive when dealing with their children, and the parents are only there to provide the basic needs for their children, and often children are let alone to provide for themselves. These children are often more prone to delinquent and antisocial behavior throughout adolescence due to the lack of parental involvement. Now we've gone over Baumrind's theory of parental styles and have looked at the four main styles of authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and neglectful parenting. We'll look at some examples and figure out what style of parenting is demonstrated in these examples.
Well, isn't this a happy house?
Yeah.
This is not a happy house.
Well, you just said this was a happy house.
Well, Well, that's not what I meant. It was sarcasm.
Well, who the hell knows what you mean when you won't say what you mean?
I don't like how you're treating the children.
Look, Kitty, I'm not going to let our kids go down the wrong path. But if you have a better idea, I'm all ears.
Okay, maybe you could be a little less strict and a little more loving.
Okay, Kitty. Enough with the sarcasm.
Oh, no, honey.
Yep, he thought he could sneak out.
So, what now, Ho Chi Minh?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Playtime is over. Your friends are no longer allowed in the house.
Wait, what?
No, we'll talk about it in the morning.
Fine. We'll talk about it in the morning. We'll talk about how your friends are no longer allowed in the house.
You know, I have an interesting idea. Why don't we not punish him? Why don't we try a little that forgiveness that Jesus was always talking about?
No. This is for his own good. Look, in order for Eric to be a happy, well-adjusted adult, he has to be miserable now. That's just good parenting. You hear that?
I don't hear anything.
That's right. Nothing. That's the sound of discipline.
No, that's the sound of jail. This house used to be fun until you made it miserable.
Well, I'm sorry, Kitty, but I think it's working.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you do.
I just said I did.
Red?
Hell's bells!
It's Red! Run for it!
I know, Angel. We're doing the best we can. I've got every girl on the bleeding staff hunting for you.
All right, where is it? Why haven't they found it?
Veruca, sweetheart, I'm not a magician. Give me time.
I want it now. What's the matter with those twats down there?
For 5 days now, the entire flipping factory's been on the job. They haven't shelled a peanut in there since Monday. They've been shelling flaming chocolate bars from dawn to dusk.
Make 'em work nights.
Come along, you girls! Put a jerk in it, or you'll be out in your ears, every one of you! And listen to this. The first girl that finds a golden ticket gets a £1 bonus in her pay packet. What do you think of that?
They're not even trying. They don't want to find it. They're jealous of me.
Sweetheart, I can't push them no harder. 19,000 bars an hour they're shelling. 760,000 they've done so far.
You promised, Daddy. You promised I'd have it the very first day.
You're going to be very unpopular round here, Henry, if you don't deliver soon.
It breaks my heart, Henrietta. I hate to see her unhappy.
I won't talk to you ever again. You're a rotten, mean father. You never give me anything I want. And I won't go to school till I have it.
Veruca, sweetheart, Angel. Now, there are only 4 tickets left in the whole world, and the whole ruddy world's hunting for them. What can I do?
enough of that.
Aye. Happiness is what counts for children. Happiness and harmony.